listening to
A to the K.
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 A to the K. WrestleTalk podcast.
Check it out. Change your life. You'll be thanking me later.
Welcome back to A to the K's WrestleTalk podcast, where we talk all things wrestling. And by all things, I mean strictly WWE and AEW most of the time.
All of those things.
I am Hangman Anthony Page.
Yes.
And with me, as always, it's the cleaner, Al E Omega.
I see what you. I mean, still calling me Carly, to be fair, but
I put the space in there. You know, it kind of
It's
helps.
fine. It's cool. It's cool. But yeah, that is right, Anthony. Another week, and a hell of a week it is. Not only will we finally get an answer to who the fuck is Griff Garrison,
The question on everyone's mind.
the question on everyone's mind, as he joins us for an exclusive interview, but also, as the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase would say, hands off the merchandise. That's right. Let's get in there. Let's have a look. Beautiful.
Oh yeah,
glory.
look at the quality stuff. Quality
Drink
stuff.
it in, man. Drink it
Yes.
in. But yes, we have got merchandise. We spoke about it before, a few times now, but it is here. It is official. You can buy it.
It's true.
And please do.
It's true.
Please do.
And let's be honest, we know every week you're watching it going, yeah, I mean, these guys are cool and all, but how can I wear their faces on a t-shirt?
Well, exactly. And
There you
now,
go. Problem solved.
we
We've
listen
done
to our fans, and you can wear our faces. Just on a t-shirt though, no murdery and
none of that crazy serial killer shit.
Yeah, none of that. But
But on top of that, and we'll probably wear it on the pod next week. No spoilers, but we've got an amazing design by Carl. I think we've actually may have put it on our social medias for our whiskey and wrestling. So we've actually got a t-shirt officially for that segment, which we will be doing again because it seems to have been
Very
received
popular
quite
one.
well, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. So all good fun. Sorry, Carl. I think I'm stepping on your intro there.
Stuff and junk. I think I'm pretty much
Stuff
there.
and junk, yeah.
Buy the merch.
No,
That's
buy
all.
the merch.
Buy the merch.
Buy all the merch. If you're wondering where you can find the merch, go
Yeah.
to a2thek.co.uk, go over to the shop section,
I'm the
go to our
merch.
podcast,
and
click on the
I'm
link.
awesome, as it would
Nice.
say, if it could talk. But there you go.
You can find it on our social media as well. Go to any of our social medias, click on the links. Links everywhere. Links for men. That doesn't track.
Oh, they
with
won't
the
get
axe.
that.
Sorry, guys.
Axie links. Linksy
No, that
axe
doesn't
for men. Yeah, you get it. Don't axe us. No, we like this. Don't do it. No.
So, as
Anyway.
Carl said, this week we have an exclusive interview with the one and only Griff Garrison.
Yeah.
We have the Ringside Report, as always, and we have This Week in Wrestling, in which we'll talk the 4 big shows. So, let's kick us off, Carl, if I could, with the Ringside Report.
Do it, man.
So, coming up tonight in the Ringside Report, we have a leak, I suppose, of the Thunderdome's banned image list.
Mm.
We have details of wrestlers' donations made to political parties. We have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's biography being released soon. We have more news on what I will dub Twitchgate at WWE. We have, is Marvel starting a wrestling promotion? Maybe. I don't know.
No.
We have a horrendous video of, not that I'm going to show you the video. I mean, I'll put the link there, but we have an amateur wrestler breaking both of his legs in a backyard wrestling, not even in the match, in the entrance to the backyard wrestling.
Don't do it, man.
This needs to be talked about, and we'll explain why when we get to it. We have Sting's merch being pulled down from the WWE shop.com. What does this mean? We have NXT officially are not going to be involved in Survivor Series this year, as a lot of people probably know, but some of the implications of that, and there's some suggestions as to maybe why. We have FTR potentially unhappy with AEW. Are they happy with anyone? We have the one and only Tucker quietly moving back to the Blue brand. And lastly, this just in, because literally we found out a couple of hours ago, KYLIE Ray has officially retired from wrestling, or so it would seem. All that coming up right now.
Right now. So, Anthony, to kick it off with the first one that you mentioned. So there's been a bit of a leak. So, as we know, WWE debuted the Thunderdome concept a little while ago. I think it was August, maybe?
I want to say August.
What is time? What is life? In
What
this
is
pandemic?
time?
In this
What
pandemic
is
era?
outside?
But the company, the Famous Group, are the company who are behind the Thunderdome concept, and they've recently won a Digital Fan Experience Award at the 2020 Sportal Awards. And as part of that, they did a bit of a, behind the scenes, looking into it and stuff like that. And
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant like a Dyson or something.
yeah,
So
no.
I've got a digital fan. It's really good.
Oh, nice. Let's brag about all the fans and stuff that you've got. Mine's a Dyson.
My biggest
anyway. But yeah,
Lame
so
dad jokes coming up.
they did a little kind of behind the scenes, going through like what it takes to like put on the Thunderdome kind of aspect with all the cameras and so on and so forth. And they've accidentally kind of shown the banned image list. So obviously the Thunderdome, and fucking hell, fair dues, they can't cater for some of the stuff that's made its way onto there. But that's beside the point. They've got a list of images, of logos, things like that, which WWE have said this cannot be shown on any of the screens in the Thunderdome. So from a company perspective, the typical expected ones. So no AEW logos, no Impact Wrestling logos, no New Japan logos either. As well as
I love it. It's like a nice little indication of who they care about.
I know. Yeah. If
Meanwhile, Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I know, poor Ring of Honor. Poor NWA. Like, geez.
I know, right?
But yeah, so like they didn't even make the cut. I think there was a couple of flags and stuff on there as well that they didn't want to see. But then there was also images of people, and the internet detectives have done their work. They've done the CSI hyper zooms and whatever.
Zoom and enhance.
Superimpose. What is it?
Superimpose.
Yeah, that's not right.
That's what Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre like to do.
Yes. But yeah, so zoom in, CSI shit, as I will call it, and some interesting characters on there, Anthony. To be fair, so some, not so much. So Chris Benoit, for example, who actually has
understandably why they've put that on their ban list. Like,
yeah,
fucking trolls, man.
Yeah, so Benoit, who actually has made it on there, is obviously one of the banned faces. CM Punk, which was an interesting one, because even though
that is interesting.
Well, he's burnt his bridges with WWE, hasn't he? But he's still employed by Fox.
I never know, because he always teases about maybe coming back to wrestling. He still interacts with different wrestlers. He kind of was on a WWE program, albeit for Fox. Like, do we ever truly know what that guy's doing?
Yeah. Who knows? So some of them, you can kind of see. But then, obviously, Enzo Amore was one of them, which I thought was interesting. Ryback. Now, I know he's had a couple of, very outspoken remarks about WWE.
I don't want to. I try not to sound like I'm having a shot at Ryback, because I'm not. But that surprises me, not because WWE probably wouldn't want to see his face, but just for the fact that they think fans would try and put his face up there.
Well, yeah.
I know he's rather outspoken about WWE, but I don't know. Like, people tend to go for really controversial or weird, like the Chris Benoit thing. I wouldn't have thought too many were trying to put Ryback's image up there. I mean, clearly they are.
Yeah, well, apparently. But another one, Alberto El Patron, who, again, you can kind of see why. But then, basically, there was a lot of AEW. So it kind of disconfirmed for me that they are a bit scared, to be honest.
Yeah. Despite that official line of, we're not, who?
Well, exactly. So, Moxley, yeah, you can get that. Cody and Brandy Rhodes, yeah, you can kind of get that. But then Kenny Omega, MJF, Tony Khan.
All people who've never had anything to do with WWE, and there's no ill will there, really. Yeah.
The Young Bucks, Vicky Guerrero,
apparently, totally fucking blackballed by WWE.
Holy shit, man.
She did allude to that, though, didn't she? Saying, when she was interviewing people who weren't WWE, that WWE sort of fell out with her, which is just a shitty thing to do. But there you go.
Just awful. But
but it's okay, because they can mention Eddie every 5 fucking seconds on SmackDown now.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. That's all fine. And then again, maybe unsurprisingly, Jim Cornette was on there as well. Marty Scurll was on there, and Ashley Massaro, obviously, with that's happened with her and stuff as well. So you can kind of understand that. Also, Superstar Billy Graham, and that one kind of surprised me a bit. I know I mean, he's a legend for them. Do you know what I mean? 70, like he was Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan. So
Yes.
yeah, I
Yes,
know
he was.
he's not their biggest fan, but at the same time, I wasn't aware of anything that would make them blackball him in that way. So
That alone, to be honest.
yeah,
They're
you don't
that
like
type of
us?
company.
Fuck you!
Well, fuck you. Yeah,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
that's WWE.
Yeah, so very interesting, I think, to see where the whole, where the line is, I guess, and how do we feel about certain companies or certain talent who they just don't want to have the images shown on the Thunderdome screen. So
Mm,
yeah, interesting one, I would say.
very, very. So I'll kick off with the next one of a quick calm. Now this one I don't want to linger on too long because I really feel for America at the moment. Everything is very political, and I do not want to make this podcast in any way political. But it's kind of newsworthy, so we'll mention it. But let's breeze over it as quick as we can, please, Cal. Right? And that is that basically, and I'm not quite sure how this works. It's American politics, but there's data available now from the Federal Election Commission. Now, this is not something that's been leaked or anything like that. It's just information you can get hold of, and it reveals a number of donations from a number of different wrestlers to both Trump's campaign and Joe Biden's campaign. And this obviously shows, like, basically not just that certain wrestlers are in support of people, but just almost an indicator of how supportive they are. So we got the likes of Undertaker has donated $1,000 to the Trump campaign. We've seen sort of almost infamously at this point, because it's all over Reddit and the like, we've seen Chris Jericho has donated I want to say it was around $3,000, maybe more over the months. And we've got the big spender Kevin Dunn spending $42. Nice one, Kev. But then obviously you've got some on the other side in the likes of, to be honest, have we got any big names on the other side? We've got like Sarah Schreiber and Dewey Foley. Let's see, who have we got? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so the likes of Finn Balor, members of the New Day, Mick Foley, Dave Bautista, they're all sort of quite well known for being, on the other side of the fence and not necessarily Biden supporters, but certainly against what Trump's about at the moment. So again, like there's a number of wrestlers listed here, and so if you're interested, if you're heavily political and you want to know who to hate, even if you never hated them before, if you want to suddenly hate the Undertaker, this is your document to look through, right? But again, we're not going to linger on it too long because, especially for us, we're in the UK, we can't even vote, so there you go. Yeah, just an interesting one to mention because, like, certain things, and again, I'm really trying to skate around the topic, Carl, but certain things like the Undertaker being a Trump supporter, I don't know, didn't expect. I don't suppose. I mean, you can support who you like. I'm like whatever, but I don't know. I just kind of assumed he'd be against, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting thing when it comes to politics, isn't it? I think you find out a lot of like political stances of people, and immediately you're like, oh, like someone like the Undertaker, you're like, oh, he's a Republican. It's like like suddenly your whole kind of stance.
But that's the thing, like,
a little bit, but.
Well, like, because like Undertaker is my favorite wrestler, we commend Jericho now every other week on this show, and again, I'll sort of skate away from having any sort of political affiliation here, or what? Not affiliation. What is it? Support.
Anthony, take the red hat off, please. Take the red hat off.
But like, I don't know. I suppose, given some of the issues Trump's had in recent months with his approach to the coronavirus and the Black Lives Matter movement, that sort of thing. And we've seen a lot of wrestlers be outspoken, such as, former wrestler Dave Bautista, such as Kevin Owens and the like, are quite outspoken about it. And then obviously you've got all that issue that happened with the Forgotten Sons, sort of, supporting the president and then disappearing from TV. So you assume it's like a bit of a no-go area for WWE, but then there's obviously this document's come out, this information's come out, so now you know who likes who, kind of thing, for the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, makes for a bit of interesting reading if you want to get totally and utterly wrapped up in the wrestling side of politics, which surprisingly exists.
Imagine that. It's a whole different level of meta wrestling. It's like, why isn't this guy getting over? Oh, he donated $2,000 to the Trump administration. Right, I get it.
I think they should just go for. Never mind, like this this slight like mix of wrestling and politics. Why not just go full fucking hog with it? We've seen Trump in WWE. Let's get Biden there as well. We'll settle it. We'll put the presidency on the top of a fucking ladder, and we'll go from there.
Presidency on a pole match. I would fucking love that. Tell you. It wouldn't surprise me as well. But yeah, so very interesting indeed. The next one from me is so a Dwayne Johnson biography is going to be coming out pretty soon. How soon, I hear you ask? Well, at the end of November 29th. And it's from the same author who did the Owen Hart biography, King of Pranks. So worth noting, this isn't an autobiography, so The Rock hasn't written it himself or anything like that.
I mean, he's a busy man, Carl. He's a busy man.
Exactly. But you know, by all accounts, I've not read it myself, but it's something that is on my list to read. You know, the Owen Hart one was apparently fantastic, and you know, The Rock's kind of lineage, you know, the whole Anoa'i family and his kind of ascension from Rocky Maivia all the way up to, you know, becoming the world's highest paid fucking movie star today. You know, he's a hell of a story there. He's a hell of an entrepreneur. He's a hell of a guy by all accounts. So I assume it will make for a fantastic read. But
I mean, I'd prefer a rockumentary.
This fucking guy.
Dad jokes all day.
Is all day. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what are your thoughts on this? I don't think we've had any particular literature on The Rock. At least not anything.
You know, it's one of them. Like, we know a lot about him, but like, I don't know. For me, I would still like. I would, depending on, like you say, with it not being an autobiography, depending on how in depth it goes, I would love to have a proper read about his life, because, like, you know, you get hints and stuff from just watching it over the years, and he's quite a, you know, what's the word? He's chatty, isn't he? You know, so you see him on like on social media. Do you know what I mean? He does kind of like every day. You're seeing him like at his gym, what he's eating, you know, enjoying time with his family. So you get to know a lot about the man. But I don't know. I for one like they like to reading like Bret Hart's book or the 700 books Jericho's brought out,
including
you know,
Chris Jericho's A Lion's Tale. You can buy now at all good bookstores. On sale, 99 cents. No.
So for me, I would welcome it. It's definitely one I would pick up and read. Definitely. Yeah. And you too can pick it up and read it today. It's Amazon. I'm just kidding. I don't even think it's out yet, is it?
29th of November. Yeah. Ours will be out not long after. You'll be able to get that as part of our merchandise, of course.
I'm desperately trying to think of a funny title. It's not going to happen.
Whiskey and Writing. There you go.
See, straight away I went to like Behind the Pod.
Behind the Pod. I like it.
Right, so this one is probably rather speculative for my next one, as I tend to do. Sadly, I'm getting certain things I say a lot, so apologies for that, guys. But it's a bit more information on Twitchgate, as it were. So as we know, WWE or Vince McMahon, however you want to perceive it, have taken control of everyone's Twitches, cameos, and whatever else they were fucking using. And this is more of a thing that's come from Meltzer. So, you know, I don't know. Let's say maybe he made it up. I don't know, right? But sorry, Meltzer. But basically, you know, some bits are obvious. Like there's a lot of unhappiness in the locker room. Yeah, fair enough. But the suggestion is that several superstars are currently talking to Andrew Yang, who, as we know, was a former presidential candidate or in some capacity for, you know, all that stuff, political stuff. But he's been very outspoken on various podcasts and mediums about the whole independent contractor stuff, and how, you know, if he gets into any position of power, basically if Trump doesn't get in, that is something that they would really want to take a look at. So it seems that a lot of superstars are actually approaching him, and what the sort of suggestion is that they really, if we get something along the lines of a big name who's willing to champion the cause, a phrase they've coined there, that this might get a bit of sort of momentum behind it. in the sense of like, I mean, we've seen, I don't know if you've seen lately on social media, Carl, we've seen Saraya Knight or Paige, as she's known in WWE, again being very outspoken about why Twitch is so important to her, and I think her genuine approach of like she's not going to stop doing it, fuck 'em, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I totally get it. And there's so many people who are like, well, WWE major and all this, and it's like, yeah, but still, like, doesn't mean they can take control and ownership of everything you do outside of it. It doesn't work like that. That's not like any job ever.
No.
So I totally get it. Like a lot of people's, unhappiness with it and being disgruntled with it. But I don't know. It's basically if this keeps up and if this momentum keeps up and these sort of rumors are true that a lot of people are in talks about how they can battle with WWE over this, either WWE are going to have to relent on it, or there's going to be a fairly big sort of battle on their hands with it, especially if they get someone to sort of be the champion of it, the face of it. Imagine getting a big name like who's like I don't know, bad example, but like Rollins or AJ Styles would be a fantastic example because he has got a Twitch. I think he's fallen in line with the WWE modus operandi, but there you go. Yeah, so it's purely speculative, but it would seem that the battle is not over, even though WWE have technically now taken control. There is a lot of disputes still as to where this is going to end.
Yeah, I think it was Paige's kind of reaction to it that resonated the most with me, and I really felt for her, to be honest, because she was really emotional and upset by it all because, as we know, she has had, I think she might have broken her neck a couple of times, or she's certainly had severe neck injuries a couple of times under the WWE umbrella.
I think she cited herself that 2 of them were sort of career enders. Come back from one and it happened again, kind of. So
and it's like she's been wrestling since she was 14, and she's gone to WWE. She had an amazing rise, and she was just fantastic. And unfortunately, her in-ring career has been cut short, and it's like she's used Twitch as an outlet for herself to kind of escape the fact that she hasn't got wrestling anymore. That's all she's ever known. It's her entire life. And fine, like WWE made her or whatever you want to say, but at the same time they also they broke her because it was under them that she can't do what she loves anymore. So I just think it's so needy and underhanded to take it away from her.
I agree. Like I this isn't wrestling related. This is the bit that bugs me. I don't deny that some people will watch her because they know who Paige is from WWE. And there is a level of like momentum that WWE's give her. But at the same time, it's like it's not like she's doing something else wrestling related. This is totally unrelated. Yeah. This is like imagine you working, Carl, and then your work or my work goes, well, we believe you're doing a podcast, so I know it's absolutely nothing to do with your job, but we're going to take control of that, and it's going to be branded by us, and we're going to take a cut of any money you make, which is nothing, by the way, guys, for the record. But yeah, it just baffles me that from that, like, why people are even supporting WWE's approach. It's like, it's not even wrestling. No. Like, what the fuck? Especially because you get, and I'm not trying to sound, it's not bitter, but I'm not trying to like throw salt, as it were, but you get other people who are still technically WWE employees, such as what's Natalia's fella's name? I can't remember his real name now.
Well, Tyson Kidd was his.
Tyson Kidd. We'll call him Tyson Kidd. He starts up a wrestling school, totally wrestling related. A WWE taking a cut of money of that.
Well, yeah.
And the branding and the clothing and all that he sells, because hey, he's famous because of WWE.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
works the same way, doesn't it?
Where do you draw the line? Because like they've gone after Twitch, but like a number of talent have got YouTube things, a number of talent got wrestling schools, a number of talent sell their own merch on pro wrestling tees and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, mate, every bit of social media we see from them in the future is going to be like a fucking ransom note. You've called it before, Carl, and it's definitely going to be like holding up a newspaper with today's date on it. I'm fine and well.
Yeah,
I still have all of my toes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so bad,
unreal.
So on to the next one. So are Marvel going to be launching their own wrestling promotion? So
This sounds like a fucking wildie, doesn't it?
It
But
definitely does.
apparently it's got some legs, this.
Well, I mean, I can see Dave Meltzer's name on the article, so let's take it with a pinch of salt. But so it's well known that AAA from Mexico have got a partnership or collaboration with Marvel. By all accounts, this partnership should have started a while ago now, but because of everything that's happened with COVID, it's only just started to come into play. But effectively, what the partnership entails is that we will now start to see under the AAA umbrella a number of wrestlers or wrestling gimmicks that are inspired by Marvel superstars and superheroes. So at Triple Mania, which is their version of like WrestleMania, I think Triple Mania 28 is their next one. We are going to see Arachno, who is inspired by Spider-Man, teaming up with Leyenda Americana, who is inspired by Captain America, taking on Terra Papera, who is Thanos inspired, and Venenoid, who is Venom inspired. So, very interesting concept, I would say, for AAA. But interestingly,
it's a good way of getting eyes on them as a promotion as well.
Yeah, because people will probably be like, "Well, what's this about? Is it going to be cheesy? Is it going to be interesting? Like,
yeah, it's going to be cheesy.
What's it all about?" But apparently, this is just the start of the partnership. So, providing all goes well and people don't shit all over it at Triple Mania, this is just the beginning. But apparently, as well, the guys who are going to be portraying these characters are actually apparently quite well known talent. So some of them might be repackaged AAA superstars, while others are actually from the United States who either are currently working for the promotion or will be joining the promotion. So
interesting stuff.
Very interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know anything about this until obviously reading this news article, and I think it's definitely, as you said, it's a prime opportunity to get some eyeballs on. I just think wrestling at the minute is insane. The amount of promotions, it's
unreal.
Like
it feels like the old days, like before WWE kind of absorbed everyone.
Everybody, yes.
It's just kind of like I don't know. It's not quite territories again, but it's kind of like getting there, isn't it? The amount of different things
a little bit, yeah.
Like the rebirth of NWA and it becoming like a really quite notable thing. All right, not on the scale of AEW or WWE, but who'd have thought you'd heard of NWA again anyway?
Yeah, well, exactly. So no, it's definitely an interesting time, but
I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, in keeping with the way the movies tend to go, DC attempting it and having some sort of clusterfuck with a promotion we've never heard of. I look forward to that too.
Why not? I'm sure it'll happen. Yeah, interesting.
Indeed. I like it. So speaking of lesser known wrestling promotions, Carl, it's a poor segue, right? Backyard wrestling, Carl. Gotta love a bit of backyard wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I do have a motive for mentioning this. I just don't want to be one of these people who's like, look how disgusting this is, even though that's exactly what I did to Carl. Sorry, Carl.
Right. Without any notice as well. Here's this video. Oh, cool.
What's this?
Today? Right. Oh, God.
Now, guys, I'll warn you now, right? I'm going to provide a link in the podcast description, in the YouTube description to this video. If you're squeamish, don't watch it, right? But this poor chap, and from the article, just seems to be called Justin, which is a great wrestling name. Sorry, Justin, you've got enough problems. Don't need me having the shot. Anyway, participating in an amateur wrestling, backyard-style wrestling match. And on his entrance, climbs up to the top of the turnbuckle, using the old NWO Wolfpack music, jumps down, both his knees go the wrong way, and breaks both his legs. And, that he's out, right? Unfortunately, spent a substantial amount of time in hospital, been pinned, all sorts. Sadly, from the article,
he's been pinned. So, like, as he was lying there, so
damn! What an opportunity! That is legs pinned.
Very opportunist.
You know what? I'll set you up without even realizing. Anyway, so he spent some time in hospital. Obviously, mountain medical bills and the like. And the potential here is that and I don't know if it's maybe an amplification from the article or whether there's some truth to it, but there's a potential that he could end up having one or both of his legs amputated because of it. So genuinely, I'm not just doing this to go, look at how horrendous this is. And again, we will provide the link, but they've now set up, him and his family, he's got a young kid, he's got a wife, and they're struggling with the medical bills with the way health insurance is. and they've set up a GoFundMe, which we will link to again. I'm not usually for like, oh yeah, go here, do this, donate to this, but he's trying to do something he enjoys and he loves. Backyard wrestling can be a bit of a fucking nightmare for safety, but genuinely just jumping down off the turnbuckle, who'd have thought that would happen to you? Do you know what I mean? It's very unfortunate. And the sort of, if you want to donate, if you want to see the video and go, oh fucking it, yeah, he needs some money, then have a look, click on the link. Don't necessarily have to watch the video, but just have a read of the GoFundMe article, and if you can and you're willing to, then help them out. It's a shit thing to happen to someone.
Yeah, it's nasty. Very nasty.
Although he's become sort of famous, so there you go.
Well, yeah. I can think of better ways to become famous, but anyway.
Yeah.
So the next one, Anthony. So Sting, obviously was signed to a WWE Legends contract, and what we've noticed is that quite recently Sting's merchandise has been pulled from WWEshop.com. So in conjunction with that as well, he no longer has a page at all on the WWE Shop website. So yeah, apparently it happened on Thursday of this week. Now, our buddy Dave Meltzer, knower of all the things that he makes up, has come out and said that Sting's Legends contract expired several months ago. So they are no longer contractually obligated to sell his items.
I think there's some credence to it in the sense of I believe he's on the alumni page of WWE now, so it would suggest that he's not currently contracted as well.
Yeah, I think they've drawn like similarities with Brock Lesnar at the moment, where he apparently, by all accounts, his contract expired in April, but they're still selling his merchandise today. So I believe that there's like a grace period or something where after they part ways, they can still continue to sell merchandise and get fees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to try and empty the warehouse. They bought loads of Sting action figures and Sting shirts and all them Brock Lesnar shorts that he wears, and you've got to get rid somehow. So
all that shit. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a interesting one. I think a lot of people are kind of speculating, oh, well, he's going to go to AEW then or something, but I don't know.
But naturally, not in WWE. He's got to go there.
Well, exactly. I don't think I want to see it, to be honest. Like, it was...
I'm with you. I totally agree. I think we've mentioned this before, not necessarily about Sting, but about certain legends, and it's like, I really think they're on the edge of running the risk of having too many ex-WWE legends. Like, don't be wrong. Like, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, they're just grabbing anyone from WWE. FTR, makes sense. They're still active wrestlers. So anyone like that, go for it. But when you're pulling them in just for the fame of it and they're not wrestlers, I think there's the saturation point. You know what I mean? Like when we've already got DDP rocking up, Eric Bischoff, Billy Gunn, Dustin. Well, he's technically quite an active wrestler, but there you go. They've got a ton of people who were big names in WWE who do turn up, and I think with stuff like that, when they're not like actively in the ring, I can't believe it didn't list Jake Roberts, but there you go. I don't know. For me, this would be too much because he still can't wrestle. Presumably the injury is still the case. Like it's put him out, didn't it, from wrestling with WWE? So presumably that's still the case, unless AEW are going to go, nah, this guy, Dr. Nick here, he's gonna check it over. You'll be fine, which is unlikely. But yeah, for me, I'm with you. I wouldn't want to see it. No offense, Sting. Maybe you can come on our podcast if you want.
After we just shit on you and said we never want to see you ever again, please.
In AEW.
Oh, right. My bad.
On the podcast, that's where I want to see you.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, I don't know where I'm going to buy me Sting shirts from now. You can let us know, Sting.
How about on the A to the K store? We can do partnership there.
Hey. Right. So the next one, Carl. It's probably been noticed by the fact that the graphics don't reflect it, and they've not been mentioned at all. That NXT this year are not involved in Survivor Series, which is surprising because of how heavily involved they were and how successful it was last year. This, to me, ties in a little bit with the whole draft thing, where the suggestion was the draft was going to include NXT, and then it didn't. And this has led to a lot of people speculating why, especially when it worked so well last year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And on paper it worked, and by all accounts, everyone's numbers went up from that. SmackDown, Raw, and NXT all improved them because they were cross promoting like fuck, right? So this has led people to go, right, so there's one or two things here. So there's a suggestion that the Vince McMahon and the WWE are being very careful with COVID, so they're not including NXT. The other suggestion is that Vince has like basically had another mad turn and gone, nah, they're a developmental promotion. We don't want to give them the same respect, even though we did last year. And I think it's probably the latter, to be honest with you. They've not been shy about bringing up people from NXT, such as KYLIE, everyone in Retribution, Bianca Belair, Street Profit. You know, they're not bothered normally. And to be honest, like, how are you going to like help the COVID thing when everyone's using the same fucking building? They're all at the Amway.
Yeah.
Oh no, to be fair, NXT are no longer at the Amway. That's incorrect. I will retract that statement. But nevertheless, Carl, I don't know how you feel about it or what your speculation is on it, but I think it's a real shame. I did enjoy last year when they included it. It added another little element to Survivor Series.
I think
unpopular opinion coming in from Carl.
Unpopular opinion. I think the level of talent in NXT at the moment is the lowest it's ever been, and I don't think they could legitimately compete with either Raw or SmackDown.
You do make a good point, because sadly, they're dealing with a lot of problems at the minute, such as Finn Balor being out and Karrion Kross being out, and I don't know, probably some other people. Adam Cole, I suppose, even though it's a fake injury. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do take your point, because like when the people at the top of the company at the minute are, and again, no offense, but are the likes of Damian Priest, kind of, and Johnny Gargano, who, all right, I mean, a lot of people love Gargano. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I, for one, think he either needs to go to the main roster or something now, because he's just like, oh, he's North American champ again. Yay. Sorry, spoilers, guys. But yeah, I do take your point on the talent front. But do you think that's something you've looked at and gone, nah, the roster isn't well enough? Because like when you look at certain things, like the women's side is better than either Raw or SmackDown, as far as
I was going to say, if there's anything I could see as a one-off, I could see Io Shirai being added to the women's match. If only to take the fall, because I don't think they'll let Asuka lose, and I don't think they'll let Sasha lose. So, yeah, I think if anyone's gonna have a chance of making it onto there, it would be Io. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just it was good last year when they did it, but I just like looking at the depth of the roster now and the talent and stuff. I just like what would we get? You know what I mean? It just I don't know. Not for me.
No, I'll take your points. So there you go, guys. NXT are officially not part of Survivor Series, and we all wonder why.
Except Carl, who knows why. Jokes. So this next headline, Anthony, is quite sensationalized if you ask me, but at the same time, here is the headline in all its glory. FTR are already complaining about their treatment in AEW. So it's well-versed, well-charted territory that under the WWE umbrella, FTR, or the Revival as they were known, they pretty much begged for their release for a couple of years. Like, they wanted out of that place. Like, they wanted to fight the Young Bucks, basically, is one of the main reasons why they wanted out, because they did legitimately feel like the Young Bucks were the best tag team, or being spoken about as the best tag team in the world, and they wanted to prove that they could hang, and if not, put on a better show than the Young Bucks. So fast forward to today, 2 years after them asking for that initial release, and that's exactly what we're going to fucking get. However, FTR ain't happy about it because, and I happen to agree with them on this, they are not happy with the build to this match. So
I think that's fair. I mean, I actually think you've probably mentioned that, like, in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I just think
we know where it's going, but it's not really.
Yeah,
they haven't built that per se, even though we all knew where it was going.
No, it's like
kind of strange, really.
It's constantly featured in my lowlights for AEW, and I don't have many lowlights for AEW. Well, that's because they're O-shites, but I don't have many O-shites for AEW. But yeah, it's consistently been around this feud because it's got so much potential. It is the tag team match that everybody wants to see, and it's just been fucking wasted because Young Bucks every week are just coming out super kicking fucking announcers and shit, and it's like, really? You've got the opportunity to build FTR and the Young Bucks, which is what everybody wants to see. So, and quite rightly, they're a bit pissed off by it, FTR. So they've come out and the quote says, they begged for their release from WWE for 2 years, and they're not saying that with any bitterness. We begged because of this match. Are they happy with the build? You know what? They think the build to this match could have been a bit better. And when you're an artist, you think that your piece is the most important piece in the whole museum. But whether that comes off as selfish or not, they believe their piece in the AEW art is the most important in that museum of Full Gear. Like the whole build, they feel could have been a bit better, and they could have had a little more time devoted to the match and make it way more special. And I fully agree. I
do agree with you though. Like it is. The article's kind of amped it up a bit, hasn't it? Like they've been quite respectful in what they've said, and it is a valid point. Like it's not like that they're going fuck this place and they're going full WWE again.
No,
but you can't get around that. It is a good point, especially as I say, it's not something we're just jumping on the bandwagon with. You've identified it the last few weeks as one of the weaker builds, so yeah. Can't argue with that. You're right, FTR again.
Thank you.
So Carl, the next one I've got is do you remember when Drew Gulak was randomly listed on the alumni page of WWE?
Oh yeah.
And then it was heavily speculated as to why. This is like a shitter version of that, because people have noticed that Tucker is still listed as a SmackDown superstar, and there's a lot of heavy speculation as to why. So as people know, Tucker was moved to the red brand. It feels so much better saying blue brand. I don't know why I can't say red brand. He was moved to Raw and separated from his tag partner for some reason, because they're fast and loose with the rules as to whether you can move a tag team or not, whatever. And then famously in the Hell in a Cell, he turned on his tag partner because he was allowed to be around for that, because Survivor Series is the one time a year when the two brands can go head to head, except when they go head to head every other time. So he famously turned on Otis, and one of the things was, because you really enjoyed it, but one of the things I said at the time, I think a lot of people were saying at the time, was it's kind of fruitless, because how can they feud? Well, the suggestion now is he's listed as SmackDown superstar because they are going to quietly move him back over to SmackDown in order to continue this feud with Tucker. No, he is Tucker, with Otis, the other guy.
Taking a whole level here. He's feuding with himself. Why'd you do
so
that?
Naturally, being the guy who covers SmackDown every week, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see a feud between Tucker and Otis. It's something I've been asking for. I mean, the only way it could get any better is if one of them was the Universal Champion, but we're not going to get that anytime soon. So
Imagine.
No, joking aside, it would seem, and I could be wrong, in the quietly might surprise us and actually make it very clear that he's bargained himself back there somehow, which would be funny actually, how they're going to write this without it making it look like Mandy really didn't give a fuck about Unity Otis. Tucker fought his way all the way back there, and Mandy didn't. Anyway, nevertheless, Tucker might be going back to SmackDown to feud with Otis, and I couldn't be happier.
Me neither. And so, Anthony, we wrap up this week's...
wrap it up, Carl.
We wrap it up with a bit of a sad one, to be fair.
It is actually. I went on too high a note knowing what the next one was going to be.
Let's wrap it up!
Yeah!
So to bring that hype way back down. So we noticed at Bound for Glory that KYLIE was meant to be in the Knockout Championship match against Deonna Purrazzo, and that didn't happen because she kind of no-showed the event. So we'd speculated last week that this could have been potentially due to some sort of like mental, like, what's the right word? How do I phrase this without sounding like, what was it? Mental health issues.
Yeah.
I'm just conscious. I was just saying she's mental, and that's not what I meant.
No, I know what you mean.
She had some mental health concerns, and she's now kind of come out today and said that she's no longer going to be a professional wrestler. So on her Patreon account, she posted, "Good morning. I am truly sorry for the pain I've caused and miscommunication. I'm currently unwell. I'm also sorry that I wasn't able to get this out before your monthly subscription charge. I want to take this time to say I'm no longer a professional wrestler. I'm currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand. When I am well, I will try and fulfill any obligations I've missed. During this time, most tiers will not be able to be fulfilled. Please feel free to unsubscribe from this membership Patreon account. Thank you for your understanding. So maybe slightly confirmed. She's saying that she's unwell. I think
the break from social media kind of suggests that there is a bit of credence maybe to this mental health side of things.
Yeah.
Because I believe she's deactivated her Twitter as well, hasn't she? So she's definitely pulled away from social media.
And it's one of them, like, I don't want to kind of speculate and stuff like that as to the reasons why and things like that. But, obviously she had that AEW kind of opportunity, and then they decided not to renew, and she found her way into Impact. And yeah, I don't know, the fact that she's cancelling social media and stuff like that, I always kind of come back to Caroline Flack, who people from the States or anywhere else who are listening won't really understand, but she was a UK TV personality who actually committed suicide, and a lot of it was due to social media and the kind of treatment that she received on there. And even Hana Kimura recently with the stuff that she faced from obviously being on the reality TV show, like the Big Brother thing that she was on and stuff. I just think, now more than ever, and it's always going to be a constant message on this show, is just be conscious of the, of your words and what they could mean to somebody. Do you know what I mean? It's never a nice thing. And obviously, we hope KYLIE gets better soon and starts to feel, happier and healthier again. And, we just wish her our kind of full support, because it's not something anyone should have to go through. And for her to make the decision to give up on pro wrestling altogether, hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully she can get better, and we'll see that she has got a future in this industry. But yeah.
No, I think you've said it perfectly there, Carl. I don't think there's anything I can add to that. You're totally right. And sadly, the internet can at times be a very toxic place. So hopefully that's not been the sort of deciding factor for it. But sadly, when you look at the fact she's taking a break from social media, it would suggest that she's probably, can't be doing with the way it is at the moment. And you couldn't have said it better, mate.
Yeah. But anyway, how do we get away from the sadness of that? All I can say is, imagine if she got on fucking Reddit, because those guys, tell
Jesus,
you, my God. Only kidding, guys. Don't worry, Squared Circle.
We do enjoy Reddit, but you're like, hi everyone. It's like, fuck you, guy.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just spent the last hour creating this Vince McMahon movie poster meme. Oh my God, this is so dumb. This was done years ago.
What really tickled me with that as well was like, okay, aren't you the guys that are regularly saying things like Jerichovid, like it's the funniest thing you've ever come up with, even though you just keep using it? Yeah. But no, we can't use an old joke. No.
Exactly. I mean, we don't shy away from it. We've already said, expect dad jokes, expect things which probably aren't funny anymore, but we think they're funny, and that's all that matters. Exactly. And if you're listening, hopefully you do too. But yeah, on the one hand, fuck Reddit. On the other hand, we love you guys. And when we speak to Griff, momentarily actually, in the next 10 minutes, we will be asking him some of the questions you guys asked as well. So hopefully you stick around for that.
So that being said, we will close off the Ringside Report on that note, Carl. We'll be back after this break with the one and only Griff Garrison.
Oh, yeah.